Hey, welcome everybody to Unscripted Real Estate Talk. This is Craig Lurch with eXp Realty, WWDB AM. Let's talk radio on 860. We are going to have some fun today. I have a third generation SOB, like I always say, son of a broker in real estate, but we have a son of a builder today of three generations. The Adam Panichi from TN Ward Company, building company in Philadelphia, and also now I understand around the country. You guys do a bunch of traveling around and building. Well, welcome.
I appreciate that, Craig. Thank you, man. This is going to be fun.
Absolutely. This is, you know what's needed? Get you out of your comfort zone. You're used to dealing with big buildings, concrete, metal, and all. Now you get to sit with me for the next 30 minutes, and we get to hear the stories about how the skyline of Philly has changed. But hey, let's do this first. First of all, follow me on Instagram, Craig Lurch Selling 215. You can also follow me on Unscripted Real Estate Talk. You can always call me at 267-214-7728. Hey, we're going to be out in the city tomorrow. We're going to be doing some taping for our show. That is Craig Lurch. It's Selling 215, made in Philly. We're going to be out taping. We're going to have some places. I'll give you some ideas where we're going to go. But the topic that we're going to be talking about today is behind every great property. Now, no matter where you go, no matter what size, there's either a great builder or a great mistake, and we've talked about that, and really learning the difference, how to do it. And everybody thinks there's glory in making all this money as a builder, but you got to be able to weather some stuff. So we're going to get into that conversation. You excited about that one? The good, the bad, and the ugly.
I'm definitely excited about that one, especially to explain to people there's not that much money in there. So it all looks good, but it's definitely a hassle every single day, but that's the fun in it. So the days go by quick. There are a lot of similarities between real estate and building. You got to find people you can trust. You got to work with people that are going to tell you the honest answer and set you up for success as opposed to just setting themselves up for success. That's kind of one of the biggest hindrances in picking a good builder, knowing that somebody that they're going to be on your team. It's all a team effort.
I mean, and we were having a chat before. I mean, the skyline's really changed in the city of Philadelphia. And your family, you're third generation. You work for the company. You don't work for your dad. You work for the company. You're part of this, and you're in the fight daily as helping grow this. Since 1918. 1918. That's huge, dude. Over 12 years so far.
Pretty close, yeah. And it's definitely eye-opening. I hear my dad talk about, building buildings and then demoing those same buildings. We're building a building and now getting asked to go back to refit it or to rehab it, bring it up to snuff again. So it's pretty cool when not only are you building stuff. I'm actually on a job currently right now that we built the original building back in 1977, and here we are doing a kitchen renovation for it. So it's pretty neat. Those are things that you're in the business for those reasons, to try and make a difference and to keep pushing that along. So when you're in the buildings multiple times and owners invite you back, that's definitely a tip of the hat to your credit, and knowing that you're taking care of people and customers is the most important thing.
That's huge. And again, when in the real estate business, when I talk with my clients, especially the first time with a buyer or a seller, I said, look, I can overpromise you. I can sit around here and do a dog and pony show, tell you how great I am. But the goal is to build a trust relationship, and that's where it comes. And you guys have done, since 1918. That's trust. And especially with multiple clients, multiple times. That's building a trust and knowing that answer is going to be there. We're going to get into that, how you do more of that. But let's talk about a couple little things here in Philly. Big week, getting close to Christmas. We got done the turkey. We got done the Thanksgiving Day Parade. Love seeing the Thanksgiving Day Parade in front of the Art Museum. Have you ever ran the steps to the Art Museum?
I have, yes. I was definitely winded at the top of them, but I did make my way up. It was easier going down, but I did get up there.
72 steps, matter of fact. 72 steps. We got the Eagles and the Chargers this week on Monday Night Football coming up. It was a little weird last weekend because we didn't play on Sunday. I actually just had a habit put on my Eagles, and somebody was like, I was actually at Atlas Marble and Tile, Gennaro's place, out at the Elmwood Zoo's party. And let me tell you something. That zoo... The city of Philadelphia has a zoo. I mean, they have 700,000 people go through that zoo. This Elmwood Zoo located out in that King of Prussia, have you been out there?
I have one time, yes.
1.2 million people go through it. Everybody. This is what Philly's about. It's about learning. It's about the grit. It's about the passion. It's about having the best of some. This is the best zoo in the state, and it's right here outside the city limits along with the city. But, so I was out there and I was in Eagles stuff, and they're like, the Eagles didn't play today. I said, I don't know, I had a habit, I just put it on. So I went on a tangent there. But yeah, so I also mentioned we're going to be out in the city. The best thing about the city of Philadelphia is we're trying to share the lifestyles of Philly, the entrepreneurship of the real estate, but also the lifestyle. So my son and I were going to be out taping our show on Friday. Selling 215, made in Philly. We're going to be starting out at McGillin's. You've been in McGillin's, the oldest ale house in the country, I think, consecutive. You've been there, I think, right?
I've been there a couple times, yeah.
There you go, through the years. And then we're going to hit the Murano. Were you involved in any of the building Murano?
I was not, but I know the best realtor in the business out there. Second to Craig Lurch.
My boy, Mike Fabrizio, very, very good dude there. We're going to be we're supposed to be up at the penthouse one that Nikki DeLuca's got, so we're going to be up there looking at that thing. We're going to go to a property over in Fishtown. We're going to hit Reading Terminal. We're hitting the famous saloon. We're going to be down there talking to Anthony again that runs that and the sons and the owners of that. Followed up by Miracle on 13th Street. So
see, this is why I should have been a realtor instead of a builder. I got to go to work, Craig.
There you go. Now, what we're here is trying to share the experiences of Philly, of why you want to live here, and also the culture that Philly has. It helps rise the values of properties. I mean, the average sale prices used to be, let's say, X. Now they're extremely higher and go from there. But all right, a couple things we're going to do a little. Did you know? Okay, here you go. What's your best thing you love about Philly?
Well, it's got to be the Eagles, but I know that's kind of a cop-out, but it's got to be the Eagles.
You're going to say the Eagles.
You got it. That's what everybody shows up for on Sundays when there's nothing to do, during the winter. That's what you fall back on.
Wow.
But also the people, just the pure attitude about just getting stuff done. It's a blue-collar city. It's filled with people that we work with every day that they just want to do their job, do a good job, and they care about that, and that's something to be said. People strive for greatness here, and that's what every city should want to strive for. And I think we see that. That's why we care so much about our sports teams. We want to put off. I don't care if you like me. I care that we did a good job, and I care that we were successful. So that's definitely the city attitude, and I'm fine with it.
Grit, passion, and brotherly love at times. We always say, don't come in here with another jersey, and it's like, same kind of thing. I mean, you're going to have an opportunity. Your company is building in different parts of the country right now too, and you see people's communications different. That you got to speak different when you're in different parts of the country than here. You got to slow it down a little bit, and
You definitely have to, pick and choose and pick your battles. Believe it or not even a business thing. I went to school in South Carolina, down at Clemson for college, and I found out real quick that I was a little too fast talking for them. My phonetics weren't proper for them either, so I learned then that you have to, depending on where you are and how you do things, you got to change and adapt to your area. So not only in business, but even from an educational standpoint, it was a good 4 years to see how the South worked and how those kind of people approached life. And it's interesting for all of us. You kind of got to take all that in stride. Some things that are important to them are not important to us, and vice versa. So you got to just kind of, weed that out and figure it out. So not only from a personal standpoint, but then in business, everybody approaches things differently, even just in the city, dealing with different subcontractors. One sub wants to handle something one way, so I could probably even get nitty gritty even within our own market share, that you still have to handle people differently and talk to people differently. And that's one thing that I struggle with, because I'm just I want to get stuff done. I want to get it done when I know we need to get it done. I got to make a customer happy, so sometimes I push a little too much, but if you're not willing to push, I guess you got to get out of the way. So
yeah, exactly. Your lead follower, get out of the way, was I think it was Iacocca's old line that when he was redoing Chrysler. And again, it goes back to learning personalities, DISC personalities. Being direct, being this. You got to know your role and know where you're at. And I find that in real estate, there's a lot of real estate agents out there that just talk over people, and they just sit there and how great they are. It's not about you. It's like building that relationship, building that trust that we were talking about earlier. And that's how you make it through 100 plus years. That's how I've made it through, 36 years of real estate. People get burnt out and things like that. But question I got to ask all the time. Favorite cheesesteak in Philly? And you don't got to go one way to do it. Who is it and what is it?
I got to go with Del Rossi's.
I
love Del Rossi's cheesesteak.
Really?
Yeah.
Where's Del Rossi? Tell us where so you can give him a little plug.
I'm trying to remember exactly where it is. I know he's right outside of South Philly, but I don't know exactly
There you
where
go.
it
You
is.
just know where it is. Your car automatically goes there.
I just know how to look it up on the phone and tell it to show up.
There you go. So we have a lot of different flavors, and then and again, Philly's not just about cheesesteaks. It's about the culture. It's about the people. We have communities that are different. We have Italian market. We have the Chinese market area, the Chinatown. We have out off of Cobb's Creek. I think it's the Lebanese or what. I believe there's a bunch out there. But all right, a couple things that I always like to touch on. Did you know? Today we're going to celebrate this. I talked about it a couple weeks ago with everybody. If you're trying to figure out how to buy a house in 2026, reach out to me. Reach out. We can set up a game plan. It's not too late. You can always own a home. That's pride in ownership. It is National Roof Over Your Head Day. National Roof Over Your Head Day.
Great, I could celebrate that.
There
Just for the time being until they kick me out.
There you go. And I always talk about, changing lives and making money and having fun. And we were talking about changing lives are the people that work for you and how to communicate with them. But changing lives these are my 3 funnels. And changing lives is working with other people, doing random acts of kindness, letting people pull out in front of you. But, you got to make money to change lives. Mother Teresa was the only one that didn't. But also, stop being mean to people. It's a hug. Today is a National Hug Day. So, you know what? Go hug your family members you haven't hugged. Get over it. If you had a fight with them, go out and hug and go from there. Because it's also the month of giving. Go out there and start doing some charitable work. You've got a lot more time between the New Year's when the ball drops. So, as that said, let's get into some real estate. So, let's talk about unscripted real estate. You guys have been building all kinds of buildings. You guys have helped change the skyline. T.M. Ward Company was your grandfather?
It was my grandfather, yes.
Then your father, and your father's still CEO, runs the thing. You're involved in just working within the company, following obligations and doing what you're doing. But he's the stop all right there. I mean, how does that function different than a lot of the building companies that are around? You said there's probably less than a handful to build the real big stuff, or maybe 10. But a lot. How's that work in you versus somebody else?
It definitely gives us in this business, you need to have a single decision maker, a sole decision maker. Of course, collaboration and bringing everybody to the table is important, but in this business, you're making decisions every day, all day. And when you can have one decision maker, it makes it much easier for your coworkers, your employees, your people out in the field, because they know a certain way that you'd like to do business. So it definitely helps us or gives us an advantage over maybe some of our competitors that have multiple owners or multiple decision makers in this business. When you're at these levels of jobs and the amount of people that you have out there on any given job, you could have 40, 50, 60, 250 people that you're responsible for. And as a general contractor, you have to make sure that everybody can continue on. You have to get answers daily. We're solving problems daily. So when you can have one decision maker, it puts you in a position to kind of know really which way the company should be going, and makes it easier for your people that you're working with to know, okay, this is the way they would like it done. This is the way we normally do it. So I can comfortably know this is the direction that we need to go. And I think that's important. It helps to keep customers happy. I think it's a big thing. Our company and the philosophy, we're built on repeat business. There was a time where 80% of our business was repeat business, and that's a testament to the company. That's a testament to our coworkers, everybody included. You have to care about the owner, and you have to care about who you're doing business with. Mm-hmm. And in today's day and age, it's so expensive to find a new customer that it makes sense to spend. It makes sense to go above and beyond for every customer that you do have, because to find that new business, it's tough. Very tough.
Absolutely. And I like that because, the buck stops with your dad. He'll push the button and say, look, I agree that we all disagree, but this is the answer. But it gets the job done. It keeps it going forward versus sitting around saying, well, I've got an opinion, but everybody's making all these other decisions because they might have a different thought in it. I like that. I like that in the company. There's a direct, somebody's head's on the table, somebody's there, and he's like, I'm there, and I'm going to take the bullet, but I'm also going to make sure we're living to the standards over all those things. That's fantastic. And you're learning it from inside the company, not just working for your dad. You're working for the company. So you're learning all aspects. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago, you were telling me, I think it was like 1:30 in the morning or 2:30 in the morning, you're standing out on Broad Street waiting for cranes to go up. You know, that's learning it. And it's cold. And I think it was in the winter, and you were putting things up on roofs.
You got to do whatever it takes. And I commend my father for, I always say I work for the company that my dad owns. I don't work for my dad, which is a good thing because you learn the business and you know what it's like to make the right decision. You know what it's like to make the wrong decision. You're held accountable. And I think your coworkers appreciate that more because they see you're in the trenches just like them. And nobody's perfect out there, but I could say that my dad's as close to it for being able to set us up, and all my brothers and sisters understanding the difference between right and wrong, understanding how hard it is to make $1. And it's hard to make the dollar. It's even harder to keep it. So those are things that, to get the experience of working for the company as opposed to, working for my father, it's helping me learn the business. It's helping me understand that when I got to show up at 6 a.m., I got to be there at 6 a.m. And you're responsible for something. I have to report back on the jobs I'm running. I have to, respond to decisions I make and explain them if necessary. So for me to learn the business, to grasp it, I'm a very tangible type of guy. So it's working better for me to be able to be out on site, see the job, feel the job, and kind of really wrap your arms around it. So it's been nothing but a benefit for me. And family businesses are tough. They're really tough. There's different problems for every family. There's different ways to approach it. Everybody wants to do it differently. And I don't really think there's a playbook on the right way to do it, but I am very appreciative for the situation that I'm in to get the experience that I'm getting.
Hey, and I know coming from a family business and you're in it, just because you're a family doesn't mean that you're getting away with murder. You sometimes have more pressure on you. No nepotism, because what they'll do, you're going to get hung out for a small mistake where somebody else has a little more leniency on it. But I like that, and I've taught that to my kids. Be accountable for it. Own it. Take ownership. If you see the snake and you're in charge of killing the snake, kill the snake. Don't hand it to the next person and get that. Let's get into the business of the skyline. I was saying, so what kind of things are going to be built? You said that there's really just one big crane job coming up or something?
I think for 2026, what I'm hearing, there's only one tower crane slated, and that's kind of the tell-all sign of big work. Every big job obviously needs a tower crane, but a lot of what's out there is refits and modifying existing buildings, whether it be for housing, low-income housing, affordable housing. A lot of it's really people-oriented as opposed to commercial real estate or commercial uses, just because those with COVID and technology and the ability now to work from home, everybody wants to work from home and they've gotten comfortable working from home. The production, I don't believe, is as good. I'm an office type of guy. I like to have a purpose to go somewhere, but I know there's a ton of benefits from working from home. So the amount of commercial space that's needed out there is just kind of dwindling. Not saying it won't come back. Everything in life is cyclical, and things change all day long, every day. But right now, a lot of what we're seeing is renovating current existing buildings. We do try and do a lot for the city of Philadelphia with some of their programs, with some of the soda tax money. So that's definitely been some cool jobs there.
But tell me more about that. What's that mean? Most people don't know that.
The soda tax money's been going to a lot of libraries. It's going to recreation centers. They're putting in new athletic fields, new areas pretty much for people to be able to go and utilize in some of the buildings that have been a little bit dilapidated or left behind, for lack of better words. They're getting fixed up to give people a place to go and a place to be able to grow, meet friends, meet people, bring camaraderie together. So those are some really cool jobs that are going to make a difference for the city and for the people of the city. And
for the community, which is big because, the stronger the community gets, there's parts of the city that are being redone, the place being done, the areas of the city investing into it. And in doing that, it's rising home ownership up again. It's changing real estate prices again. I'm seeing, we were talking about, you have 1.5 million people in the city of Philadelphia, 4.6 in all the suburbs, but 1.5. and there's all these apartments being built, but there's not enough people to fill them all. So they're like moving spaces to places to get the best deal for the newest thing that's there. It does get expensive, and home ownership is what most people thrive for in owning their own home. But I find it interesting that you were saying how you're refitting these buildings and making things more collaborative of apartments and things of that nature. That's interesting, because I was wondering what are they going to do? And that's the city actually changing some codes. That means they're going from office building to residential, and that adds a lot of code difference to you for health, safety, building. Are you seeing a lot of that?
Yeah, we're seeing the ability to bring people in is where they see, or at least where investors, where people with money see the opportunity. And the last 5 years with the rates the way they were, there was a lot of development that happened in the city. Might have been a little bit too much development, a little too fast. So you got to give the city a little time to catch up, and everything's all a numbers game. So you got to look at these buildings and pencil them out. And in order to get certain buildings to pencil out, you need to say you're charging X amount on rent. And sometimes those numbers, you think you're going to get it, but it's tough to make money today. It's really tough to keep money. And 30, 40, 50 years ago, you didn't know what a cell phone bill was. You didn't know what a cable bill was.
Exactly.
If you look at what your bills are today, it's not just that everything's more expensive. You have bills that nobody ever even knew were a thing. I bought my house in media 8 years ago. My trash bill's quadruple. It's all you're doing is taking my trash out. So I'm not making that much money extra every year. So when you're getting hit from every angle, it just makes it tough. So now to commend some of these prices or have these apartment buildings and condos for millions of dollars, a couple $100,000 a condo, that's a lot of money.
Big time.
A lot of money.
Big time. So let's talk about this. You were saying adding costs. A couple of weeks ago, we were, matter of fact, had Brian Fritz on talking about insurance and talk about lawsuits and building and stuff like that. You were telling me the number one of your biggest line items in building is what?
Insurance.
Insurance.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys are really good at making sure. Well, one, you're in good standing, so it kind of helps you on your rates. There's guys that are bad; it hurt everybody. But that really is a big number when you're building. People think that there's huge market problem. You're saying that there might be a 1 to 3% on an overall job in a couple years. When you start paying guys and all that stuff, that's not a lot of spread, you know.
Especially if you want to make sure that every lot of jobs you're competitively bidding, so you're doing your best to get the number in a spot where you know you can earn the job. But we don't skimp on safety. Our main concern is people being able to work comfortably, being able to work safely, being in an environment that pretty much commends safety. And we have a safety culture at the company. We have a safety director. We have another gentleman just dedicated to driving around doing safety reports. All of our superintendents are trained in safety. Safety is the most important because of not only somebody's livelihood and their life, but at the end of the day, with that being a large line item on the sheets, if you can be competitive, or that's a place where it could save you some money or save you a couple percent, you can get a little bit more aggressive elsewhere. So being in a good insurance standing is important for, yes, earning business, but most importantly, it just states that people know they can feel comfortable, working at a TN Ward company job, and that people's health, wealth, and safety is one of the most important things out there working every day. People are running at a fast pace. Jobs are tight schedules to begin with. So we don't skimp on safety. That's not a place I'm looking to make extra money on or to try and cut. Whatever we have to do, that's what we do.
That's, and that's what makes you, stand out when you're there. I mean, that when you're looking at a builder, 1 is on time, 2 is, are they in the numbers, and 3 is, what's their safety? And that's a big thing, especially walking around. I know when I'm showing buildings, some new constructions, some smaller builders, they got these rickety ladders that are nailed up to something, and that ladder can go, and it's all over from there. And I don't like ladders. I don't like height over 3 steps. So.
And what kills me is I always look at those jobs wondering when OSHA's going to show up there, because I feel like we do one thing wrong and everybody knows about it. Then I drive by some jobs. I'm like, is anybody going to stop over there or say something?
Yeah, well, I think they're saying that the city's trying. The city's behind. The city needs more employees. I mean, what is there, 4,000 or 5,000 police officers to manage a 1.5 million people, I think that there's more there. And I think there's definitely more L&I inspectors that are needed, that are out there, because they're running ragged and they're missing things. And then some people are just pushing the envelope. But where do you see...
I also do want to. I know L&I has been really. Mayor Parker's done a nice job of
absolutely
the Eclipse system and trying to make it easier to get these approvals, close out jobs. L&I over the course of the last couple of years has definitely taken a step in the right direction, which is a good thing for everybody's sake.
Yeah, that wasn't a bad. I was saying it as a positive. That's just like it's just like the speed on Broad Street. Good job, Mayor Parker. Good job. 25 miles an hour. You do 30, you're going to get a ticket. You're not getting points. You're going to get a ticket. Slowing people down. It's all part of that. Question: AI. How is AI is it going to affect you in the building world? You guys are in the trades, which is great. And in a real short scenario, are you using AI into the building?
We are. We're definitely looking into those options. Some of our competitors are a little bit further ahead than we are. I think AIs definitely can help out a lot with estimating takeoffs, putting together numbers. I know there's machines out there that can help with layout. You just give it a drawing and it starts going to work and laying out where your walls are going to be, where your drains are going to be, where your MEPs go. But I don't know, call me an old soul. I don't even like using a computer if I don't have to. I like to pick up the phone and actually make a phone call. But there's a place for AI. I just don't know if AI is ever going to be able to actually swing the hammer and put up a sheet of rock.
No, that's what's great about the trades, and that's what I find it interesting. And everybody thinks AI is going to take over real estate. There's still a personality in there. There's still 100%. A personality. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, we're closing up here. If somebody wants to get a hold of you, how do they get a hold of you? And say, one is I'm looking for a job and I'm a builder, or I may want to work for the company. Or two is I'm looking to talk to a very good building company since 1918 in the city. How would they get to you?
You're more than welcome to stop at the office. We're right in Suburban Square, so we can walk down the street. Thankfully, there's a Starbucks there. I spend a lot of time hanging out with a lot of the Ardmore locals, so we're right in Ardmore there, but feel free to reach out.
Phone number. Give me a phone number.
My phone number is 610-955-3259. And I'm always here to answer any questions.
All right, my man, Adam Panichi with TN Ward Building Company. Everybody have a blessed day. Remember, go out and change a life. You never know whose life you're going to change. It could be yours. Go out. It's National Hug Day, and help somebody go buy a house and get underneath their own roof. God bless. Have a great one. See you next week.
Thanks, everyone. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Adam.